Hello everybody, this is Gregory with how I lost over 100 pounds and kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today we're going to continue reflections of a weight loss warrior and talk about my imperfected post-weight loss body and my hang-ups about it. Now before we begin, if you need help with your weight loss, especially from a psychological point of view, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, my podcast, The Awakened Man, my 2 books. And if you appreciate my content, hit the like button, hit the notification button right now, and then make a donation via PayPal if you like. All right, so the Bloopie. I don't know where I came up with this term, somewhere in the early 90s, right after I lost my weight. The Bloopie is probably my biggest body imperfection. Since I'm a runner, I've never had massive arms. You really can't see, but I do have stretch marks underneath here on either side. But my biggest, and I talk about in the dividing my body into zones. The reason why my abdomen was a black zone is because my Bloopie. Now you can go and Google post weight loss bodies and see people with a lot of really saggy skin. Yeah, that's what I had, but not as bad. I don't think I had it as bad as others. Like I can touch the side of my abdomen right now and I can feel my iliac crest of my pelvis. So some people who have a lot of the flappy skin can't do it, but I certainly have a curtain of fat. And as I just talked about on the episode about having surgery or not, I made the choice on, and if you're not watching this in order, I think the episode is called How to Accept and Love Your Post Weight Loss Body. You can just search under the episodes and just type in some of those words, you'll see it. I made the decision not to have surgery because I just don't want pain and I didn't want to go under the knife, and I've never had surgery ever in my life, and I just felt like no. Maybe I was naive. Maybe in the early 90s I didn't think plastic surgery was that good. And then really once I got into this millennium, I was just like, I'm in my 30s. At this point, really, what's the point? I'm like married. You know, I guess I got the lazy, like, I'm married, I'm just gonna let go. But of course I haven't let go. I've maintained my body pretty much. But the Bloopie was definitely a sign of consternation. So what's essentially the Bloopie? So I'm not going to show it to you, but when I'm lying like in push-up position, there is like, if this is my abdomen on like my obliques, there's this thing that comes down that hangs. Or if I do this, it's going to be like 2 seconds later, it's still moving. And I just affectionately called it the Bloopie. The Bloopie, even when I was really low, I think probably my lowest weight was something like, 155, which we'll talk about in a future episode. I've always had the Bloopie. The Bloopie never goes away because it's loose skin. It's loose skin with some loose adipose tissue. So it's not going to go away. But I was always insecure about it. I remember like in my 20s, I was one of those guys like in the locker room who would change really fast. And now I talk about in the locker room on Confessions of an Obese Child, how I changed really fast when I was a fat kid. But even post weight loss, I'm changing really fast because I'm insecure about the Bloopie. When I was in college, and I didn't really have a girlfriend in college, but I kissed girls, messed around, whatever. I was insecure. That's why I told don't touch the black zone, all this stupid stuff. And then like with my long-term relationships, clearly the women that I've been with know about the Bloopie. I talk about the Bloopie. They see the Bloopie. They never really address the Bloopie. I mean, maybe on occasion they'll like jokingly talk about it. But it did take me time to just eventually just like, I don't care. I just really don't care. And I mean, maybe mid-30s, I would go run outside always with a shirt. I would go in the pool. Post weight loss, I'm 180 in my 170s with a shirt on because I'm insecure about the Bloopie. 10, 15 years. Post weight loss, I'm wearing a shirt. And then eventually, I don't know exactly what happened, but I was just like, no. So I took off the shirt. And now I'm at the point like, I don't care who I'm running with or who I'm at the pool with, I'll take off my shirt. I mean, I did feel, I remember, I would, let me change that. Like my family, like my mom is like one of these like outspoken Mexican women, she has no filter, we'll be at mass and she'd be like, I don't like this priest. He's from Vietnam. I don't understand his accent. You know, she has no capability to whisper, have a filter. So like when I remember taking my shirt off around her, she'll be like, oh, Gregorito. Oh, you know, she'll say stuff. So like when I take off my shirt to go swimming, like on family vacations with her or with my brother, I probably was like a little insecure because maybe my brother, since my weight loss, had never seen me without his shirt. But overall, I'm like at the point where like, I don't care. So now I run when I'm running outside with no shirt. I mean, honestly, I really think my run times are better even indoors if I don't run with a shirt, but they don't let you do that. And at the pool, I take off my shirt. Now, in the locker room, of course. Now, do I catch people, strangers who don't know me, looking at my Bloopie? Yes, I do. Like in locker rooms, I'll catch people looking at it, or at the swimming pool. Clearly, you can look at my body and know that I used to be overweight. It's pretty obvious. I don't think most people, and again, I can't interview, like bring them in. I don't think most people, to be honest, I think women that I would be intimate with would probably be like, if they're honest, they'd be like, yeah, I mean, I prefer you don't have this. I mean, I wouldn't get mad with that assessment because I would prefer if a woman had a perfect body too. But I think most of them are like, you probably think too much of it than it really is. I think that's what they would tell me. And probably if I could get outside of my own box, I would probably agree with that assessment. I talked about that in the other episode today about how like women are really insecure about their body, like when they just rub in front of a man they're gonna have sex with, and I tell it's like the men don't even care because they're just gonna get laid. I think it's kind of the same thing, you know, when you carry that and when it's on you, you feel like it's a big thing, but other people are just like, you know, whatever. But I got to a point about 10 years ago where I just don't care. And now the way I look at it is clearly I'm not going to have surgery. Now, if I was going to do it, it'd be in my 20s. At my age, 48, I just don't really care anymore. I'm not going to have surgery. I'm not going to go under the knife for this. So it's just about acceptance. It's just like, look, this is a reminder to me of my accomplishment. See, it's half glass empty, half full. It goes back to that episode we talked about negativistic thinking. It's all about half full. Half empty is, oh my God, everyone's gonna look at me and look down on my body, da 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 da. No, the way I look at it is that clearly they can tell I used to be overweight. The thing is, the operative word is used to be. So if I'm comparing my body to 17-year-olds in 1989 or 90 or whatever, I probably have a better body than 99.995% of them because most of those guys didn't lose the weight. And even if I'm comparing my body to most 48-year-old men, in general, I'm probably in the top 70 percentile, I would say. I'm not perfect body. Hugh Jackman, you know, there's guys that have better bodies than me. I'm not going to say that it's peak. You know, I am bony. Like my ex-wife used to call me cat in the hat. Because I am bony, but then I got the Bloopie, which is fine. You know, you get more of a sense of humor the older you get on these things. But I just got to remember that. So it's like I have this vestigial Bloopie, a vestige of my younger days of being obese. But it's kind of like an accomplishment. Certainly it's an accomplishment of what I've done, but it's kind of just like a trophy. Like, yeah, I lost all this weight. Is my body perfect? No. Would I like to have six-pack abs? Yes. Am I going to go under the knife and or, like the Puritanical Purist episode, starve myself of everything that tastes good? No. So I think it's all about having the right mental balance when it comes to post-weight loss body. And just be like, yeah, it's not perfect. It's good enough, and it's a reminder of my accomplishment. I think that's where I am now. Guys, post in the comments. Let me know if you can relate. Hit the notifications, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.